Morning everyone, and happy Monday to you. Another video on my way to the bank today instead of to work. And the reason I'm going to the bank is to cash my final check. Yes, boys and girls, I was let go by Asher College, which was inevitable given my propensity to open my mouth about the cheating that I saw going on there that is rampant industry-wide in the IT instructor industry anyway, or in the education system. Anyhow, so how y'all doing out there? Anybody punch a Nazi over the weekend? So there have been some more protests. There was a Trump rally, I believe, in Texas. Can't remember what town they said it was in, but it's all over YouTube. Infowars, Prison Planet. It looked like a pretty sizable rally too. Trump supporters getting together to march in support of Trump, and of course they're met with the Antifa, and it was pretty interesting. There were a few scuffles, it looked like, but there wasn't anything serious. No serious looting or vandalism going on, but I just wanted to point out that it seems like the right is actually starting to fight back. And by the right, I don't mean the morally upstanding or correct. I mean the right-wingers or the right wing. Oh, what's this guy doing? Why is he stopping like that? Oh, all right. So, I know that I tend to talk in generalized terms of left and right. It's just so that I can get to a point and get it across. So, anyway, that was kind of interesting to wake up to this morning and check out online. So, in other news, Trump has apparently rolled out an update to his travel ban. Dang it, I left my sunglasses at home. So, I wanted to talk about that. Now, I took the time this morning to read parts of it. I skimmed the entire thing. I plan to go back later and read the entire thing in detail. And it is detailed. So, one thing I just wanted to encourage people to do before they get into any serious discussion or debates or especially arguments over the travel ban with anybody, whether they support it or they don't, is to actually go read it for yourself, so that way you'll know what's in it and you'll be able to talk about it intelligently, and that's what I plan to do. But in my skimming of that report this morning, one thing I did notice is, number one, there's a lot of detail to it. Number two, there are a lot of waivers, there are a lot of exceptions, and there are a lot of statutes in there that you can look up and cross-reference. So that's going to be something I'm going to take on this week, just for my own interest. I want to know about it. I want to know the details about it. I want to know how it works. Now, I don't think it goes far enough. Personally, I think the travel ban is not going to have the desired effect in its totality. There's going to have to be some things added to, subtracted from it. So this isn't the first, and this isn't the end-all be-all for the travel ban. Obviously, as Trump stated, it is to create a pause so that they can establish vetting procedures that will help keep our country safe from terrorism. That's another thing. I'm going to stop using the word terrorism. I'm going to say jihad, because that's what it is. And in earlier videos, I may have gone over this, but there are basically 4 types of jihad. Jihad of the sword is the one that we're all familiar with when, a nutcase goes on a shooting rampage or goes and blows something up and, while shouting, Allahu Akbar. Well, okay. So the jihad of the sword we're all familiar with. That's what we call terrorism. And yes, the word terrorism is actually mentioned in all 3 of the trilogy of Islamic texts, the Quran, the hadiths and the sunnah of Muhammad. But terrorism isn't the goal, necessarily. So that's why you have three other types of jihad. The jihad of the mouth, of speech, a jihad of the pen, of writing, and the jihad of money. And those are far more dangerous than the jihad of the sword. Chances are you have a better chance of being struck twice by lightning than ever being the victim of a jihadist of the sword. But you have every chance of becoming a dhimmi, kafir, under Sharia law in the United States if the jihads of the mouth, the pen, and the sword are not actively fought against. That's the other thing I want to impress on y'all. You cannot just sit passively and say, oh, well, the Sharia doesn't affect me. You know, I can still go to school, I can still go to work, I go shopping, I go do my thing, you know, and it has no effect on me. Well, maybe not. Maybe not now or yet, but it is having an effect on society. It's difficult to pinpoint some of the ways in which it has an effect on society without understanding the four types of jihad and their use in Islam. Once you understand that, things get a little easier to understand from there. So don't ever let anybody tell you that Islam is too hard for a non-Muslim to understand. No, it's not. It's very easy. Are there contradictions and complications? Absolutely. But enough about that. Today, while I'm on my way to the bank, I just want to collect my thoughts. I need to start looking for some employment. Yeah. And I need to keep and maintain a positive attitude. In the past, when I've lost jobs, it's been difficult to keep a positive attitude. But I think maybe it's just because I'm getting older. That part's getting a little easier to do. Yeah, I've had some hard times. I've been around the block a couple of times. And each time just gets a little easier. So I'm going to look at it as instead of telling myself, oh, I was fired. Well, yes, technically, I was fired. It wasn't the first time, likely not the last time. But instead of telling myself, oh, I was fired, what I'm going to say is, hey, I am recently available for employment. And I'm excited at the possibilities and the opportunities that lay out there for me, that lay ahead for me. I really am. Maybe they haven't materialized yet. But I'm just going to keep putting my ugly mug out there until something catches. Now, that's the other thing. I really would like to pursue something in IT because I have some certifications that are due to expire. And just like, in a very similar fashion to the medical profession, you have to keep up on the latest. You can't just get a license to practice medicine and that's it, and you can just practice medicine from then on. No. You have to renew that by going through these procedures every so often. Well, it's the same in the IT industry. When you get these certifications up to a certain point, they're not good indefinitely. They expire, and you have to renew them, either by participating in a program where you can pay to have their life extended, or just by recertifying, which is not really that hard to do. It's just coming up with the money to do it. So, my approach is going to be to go after the proprietary certifications, like Cisco's certifications. Now, those can be expensive to get, and they can be difficult to get in the subject matter. I'll admit, 80% of it's way over my head. But it won't be once I start studying it and playing with it and working with it. Now, if I can get Cisco Certified Network Administrator, for example, well, screw all CompTIA's and Microsoft's certifications. I won't need them anymore. They'll be irrelevant. Cisco's certifications don't expire, at least not yet. So that's what I'm going to go for. And if I can do that while I'm unemployed somehow, that would be ideal. I would love for that situation to happen. So if you guys have any ideas about how I can go about getting the software like Packet Tracer, or getting an account on how to pass without having to pay for it, I would thank you up one side and down the other for that, because right now I just can't afford to get into any kind of a formal study program where I can get those materials cheap or free. So if you guys have any ideas or any directions you could point me in, I would be grateful. Anyway, I'm getting close to where I'm going to have to turn off, so I'm going to cut it off here, but I hope you all have a great day. You know, like this video or dislike it, leave me a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you've got any suggestions for me. I'm totally open to suggestions at this point. So I appreciate it, guys. Signing off. Catch you next time.